Anime.
Animes.
Anime.
Mangoes.
Anime mangoes.
Animu.
Such as mango. Chris Kattan.
Oh, Settlers of Chris Kattan.
Yes.
I'm glad I play enough board games to get that one joke.
I'm glad I know how to pronounce Chris Kattan.
I think it was weird in the early Civilization games that settlers were also your units that made improvements. So late in the game, you've got these settlers who have been hanging around for hundreds of years building railroads.
Yeah.
Like, can we finally settle down and, like, build a town? Oh, God damn it. I mean,
No.
I guess that's what we did with the Chinese in this country, so it does make sense.
The conquest marches ever forward.
Yep.
That's just how. Hey, man, progress isn't made on nothing.
No,
you know what I mean.
It's made on the backs of immigrants.
That's right.
Yep. Ancient Magus Bride. I like that they only say Christmas once in this episode.
I love that they referred to it as Yule, and we have like this crazy ass like pagan centaur dude
Yeah.
woman. Like, what the fuck? That was really cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad. The manga goes into them a little.
I liked the pacing of this
I
episode.
mean, yeah, no. As I said before in the earlier segment, judging this episode on its own, it is everything that's presented is done very well. So when I say that I'm kind of sad that that's missing, I would not have known had someone in the comments not have told me. I actually know it was on Twitter, and I was kind of angry about that. Because I'm like, yo, don't talk to me about these episodes before these go live, because I watch all this stuff on Sunday.
I know, yeah, I had somebody hit me up like, I hope you enjoyed the Pop Team Epic segment where they also had the wacky races and this other joke. I'm like, shut up!
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
Politely,
Mute.
lovingly, shut the fuck up.
Not mute. Mute your ass.
Yeah, if it weren't for the fact that I put off all of my watch list to the last minute this time, that's one of those things that would have sent me on a wiki dive, because it's like,
yeah,
talking about the Horned Lord and his Dark Lady, like, ooh, that's one of those things that I have heard other places. Like, let me see what the actual folklore roots of that shit are. I didn't this time, because guess what? I watched half of this last night and half of this morning.
I watched Magus this morning
Yep.
because I watched all of the anime I thought I was supposed to watch last night, then went to bed, woke up, and then, oh shit,
Yeah.
Magus.
Yeah. Scott was at Comic-Con all weekend, so you got an
Yeah.
excuse.
Yeah.
I was just, I say lazy. No.
No, it's just 200 minutes of shit to watch.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Also, there's a lot of Overwatch to play.
And there is.
Also, very importantly, there will never be another 20 minutes of Hoshin Engi.
Yeah.
Thank God.
But Ancient Magus Bride.
Ancient Magus Bride. Still
What a
ancient.
good episode.
Still a Magus.
Yeah.
I was not quite as warm on the Alice drug stuff as you guys. It felt like it was fine, but it felt like kind of a boilerplate backstory.
I'm not over here filleting it. I'm just saying it was fun.
I think the bigger issue is that it's very nondescript. So with Japanese censorship, they were very careful about how they presented the concept because they are very strict about substance use and etc. in anime.
Yeah.
That's why you'll see characters drunk in kids shows. You will never see a character actually on drugs in it, like, unless it's like a fake fantasy drug, in which case they can dope their characters up as much as they like. But you'll never hear heroin or marijuana ever mentioned. I was watching Assassination Classroom. I, for some reason, had read. There was a part in the manga that I was reading up on. I'm like, this is really cool. Oh my god, he's got marijuana cigarettes, and he talks about that in the anime. I've got special cigarettes, and they don't even say like. They're very careful about that because they just can't talk about actual drug use. And so in here, it's like, I used to use drugs.
Which drugs? All drugs.
Yeah, just drugs.
All the drugs. Yeah, it felt a little very special episode.
Not to mention they like zoom past her recovery a little bit. I kind of feel it's sort of interesting because this episode tries to do a lot of things and be a cohesive story about Christmas. But in doing that, I feel like they do rush some things with the characters. Like, the whole thing with Allison Renfred was really cool, and I was really happy to see that. I felt like that should have been a whole episode.
I I don't know. I didn't feel any pacing problems with this episode. I feel like if we spent more time on any of this shit, it would have been to the detriment of everything else. I liked the sampler platter of shit here. This is the most dynamic episode in terms of scenes.
Well, that being said, yeah, it does work it works very well to the overall theme and story that the episode, again, tries to encapsulate. So in that regard, it works well, but I just feel like it's to the detriment of Alison Renfred's story.
I think I agree with Kieran on that one. I think that sort of thing is best delivered in small doses, sandwiched between lighter fare.
I will say it worked incredibly well with Silky as kind of being a hey, let's get a little bit of flavor of her past to give what is about to happen more effectiveness. So yeah, ultimately though, again, this episode as a whole was just really sweet, really oddly warm. You know, it's set, you know, and that's the cool thing about it. That's when you know you have a good Christmas episode. It's set in the dead of fucking winter, but it still feels warm and loving. And when she kisses him on the head, and he gives a kiss on the cheek, and when they're sitting out on the when it's Alice and she says sitting on the bench, and you know she kind of apologizes, and Alice is like no, and she leans on her a little bit. It's like, this was nice, thanks for talking to me. I'm like, girlfriends, yay!
I love Alice and Chisei as subsisters.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love them just like comparing notes, because they do, both of them. I mean, from the little we've seen of Alice, they sort of have these pretty lonely lives, or isolated lives anyway, and it was nice to see them bond and form a little friendship between the two of them.
Yeah.
You know what the other thing that I noticed there was too? We've talked about the little bird that Elias, yeah.
Oh yeah.
They got all into like, hey, is my bird still over there? What bird?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they're building. I think the story is now actively, and kudos to the show for doing this really insidiously. They're building up this kind of like, he's not telling her what's going on in the background. Yeah, oh boy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I was saying when that was like first introduced, like if he had just come up front with, hey, you got this offer, I don't think you should take it, then that would be fine. Now that he has hidden it from her, now like they kind of brushed right past it. This was not the time when she's going to be like, what? Like confront him about it. But should she do that now? Now it's after she has, formed this connection with Alice. Now it would feel like a betrayal.
Yeah, I agree. Man. So, yeah, if this is where the story is going, it's heartbreaking and it's hard to watch, but I like it. That's a good angle to take on all this, considering that, yeah, as we said before, watching the relationship improve is nice, but it can't just be this steady build-up. There's got to be some rockiness from a storytelling perspective, and this is wholly believable. So,
other bit that I liked was Alice's old drug buddies showing up, and she just straight kicks that dude in the nuts. Like, I'm sure she could have done some magic voodoo shit, but she doesn't have to. She can kick him in the nuts, and that works just fine.
Yeah.
I like seeing magical characters finding mundane solutions to problems. Like, yeah, this isn't even worth my magic.
I like that a lot too.
Yeah, that was a good shot.
I don't have a whole lot to add. I liked the fact that Elias makes teddy bears.
Oh yeah.
I thought I was like, oh my god.
Was it Lisa?
Angelica.
Angelica. Yeah, I loved that. I was like, oh, he's been making it for Angelica, and now he's making one for her. Although, you caught that thing he said, right? He kind of brushes over it. There's something else to it, but... there's something with that teddy bear. There's something special about the teddy bear.
Yeah. He said it had like some kind of special feature, something, and yeah, none of... Like, what I liked out of that was... just, again, seeing what an emotionally limited creature Elias is in some ways. Like, yeah, this is what she wanted, so I made it, and I've kind of been doing it ever since because I don't have any better ideas. Like, he is that very straight-ahead, straight-line thinking, this worked once, so this is gift now.
Yeah.
This is all gift because he never had a reason to change.
I enjoyed the more characterization we see with him, because this episode, again, like, I love how this show shows his emotion with the framing of him, because his expression doesn't change, but they show a lot of expressions and how they, shoot him. And when she gets home and he kind of chastises her, and he's like, maybe if you came, you would, you wouldn't have been angry. And he's like, oh, I'm angry? Is this what angry is? And he's just like, huh.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's just like, I think so.
Yeah.
And yeah, with a character like that, like, is he angry? He doesn't know.
Yeah.
Like, we talked quite a few episodes back now about that. Are you angry? Are you angry? Are you... Like, even if he were to give an honest answer, he can't. He does not have that introspection. That's super interesting.
Yeah.
Also, one other thing that I really liked about this was the... oh, God, what was his face? The...
Centaur?
Yeah, the centaur dude.
The postman?
Yeah, the postman.
Yeah, I like that a lot, too.
I loved him. He's just this little one-off character, but he's so nice, and he's like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll deliver your package. And he's also kind of cute, and so I'm like, Mr. Centaur dude, come back and grab the post anytime. But yeah, no. There was also one other thing. I'll try and remember.
Yeah.
But no, this was overall, I'm happy with this episode, which makes me also, again, just happy to be happy with an episode overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this show has been the rock solid, like, well, always know I'm going to get some good stuff for so long. And then the last couple of weeks, it's been like, oh, I'm kind of worried.
There's one thing we haven't talked about.
Ash and I at the end? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, whatever.
I knew. Well, no, I don't know. That part was really interesting to me because the moment he showed up, I'm like, you're the big bad. He's gonna be, or at least he's gonna be a big bad. I'm like, you're gonna show up again and you're gonna cause trouble. And now he's apparently kidnapping kids. Looks like it.
Maybe, unless it's another bullshit. Like,
I know, that's like, it's gotten to the point where every single thing at the end of these episodes, I don't even pay attention to.
Yeah, it's worn out its trust.
Yeah,
this point.
it has, because it's like you want me to get invested in this cliffhanger, and you have consistently shown me that there is no threat throughout these, and you cannot keep crying wolf and for me to care every time.
This doesn't feel like a cliffhanger though. This feels like a peek at something else that's happening, and that
bit more, yeah.
Yeah, that makes me a lot more like inclined to believe that this is insidious, especially considering that this character has already proven himself to be kind of dubious. I fully expect that whatever is happening is nefarious and probably going to make us sad.
That's what I want. I want to be sad boys.
I do. I want the show to make me sad because I know it can, and when it does, it's so good.
Yeah.
Like the show is very good at manipulating my emotions, which is why when it fails, I get angry because it's like you know better.
Yeah.
So it manipulated you.
Oh, other thing, as far as like the gift giving goes, Chisei gets Elias a string tie that is exactly like his other one.
But yeah, and it's great because he's like,
yeah,
I love it.
How did you know that I loved this exact string tie that I wear every day?
And like, I don't know. I bet to him that was probably just like, oh my God, she got me everything I use, the thing I use every day. Yes.
Yep.
Also, did you notice that the little jellyfish thing was in the
Oh,
water?
yeah.
Yeah, no, I saw it consistently. And I was like, oh, so it was spying on her. Cool.
I just thought it was like another creature, like, oh,
Yeah, I
maybe
thought
that's a
that, too.
reference to something. Like, oh, maybe that's just one of the other creatures that follows her around, because that has happened.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like it could have just been like a spirit just chilling in the city, because spirits are drawn to her, just like, all right, I'll follow this chick around for a while. Okay, bye. Yeah, could have been nothing more than a neat background detail, but yep. Nope, turns out it was spying for Elias. And I also did like at the end, because, she snuck out, like against his wishes, and it's like, no, you cannot sneak out on me like that. And she's pretty good about like, not actually like, yeah, I should have said something, but he's like, no, you should have said something. I would have gone with you. And she's like, no, I need to have my own life without you around sometimes. I need to be able to talk with my girlfriend about secret girl stuff.
Yeah, I that was it. That was the thing I was trying to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when she's like, nope, what? It wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
Because I gotta have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I don't know why because I want Chisei to have friends. That is a big conceit of this that I want, is like, yes. And she's perfect. She's like, again, sub-sisters.
Yeah. Like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have snuck around behind your back doing this, but I mean, she's also got a point. I was afraid you'd say no. And yeah, you totally would have. So they need there's some rebalancing. She needs to be able to say, no, I need this, and he needs to be able to respect that. But feels like they're making moves in that direction, and I appreciated it.
Yeah.
Magus. A place further than the universe. You know what these... I talked about how much I liked these, the expedition leaders, Cool Big Sis and Captain Moleface. You know what they remind me of is for a while, for a couple of years before I moved out here, I was doing some freelance work for ASU for this engineering sustainability grad program. I have met those two characters over and over in that academic surroundings. Like, you could easily look, if I hadn't had that experience, if I'd been watching this show 6-7 years before this, I might have said, "Oh, these characters are so perfect. This is so unrealistic. They're smart and competent and successful and hot and gorgeous. Like, whatever, Mary Sue, what? Like, nah, these women exist. Go to ASU. Go look up the grad program. If you're like, no, for real though, if you're looking for insanely smart, beautiful, awesome women, that's where you find them."
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because that's why I loved these characters. I have met so many of these women in like when I was growing up in California, or even in Louisiana when I was doing the census. I'm like, yeah, no, this sounds about right. And the fact that they're working out of these vans that might just be their own, or people that they know that they're borrowing them from, and doing this on a budget. Everything about that felt so real. And it's impressive because, again, these characters this show is very good at having these moments of, okay, they're obviously ramping up the zaniness to make this entertaining and funny. But damn it, they're very good at making them relatable and realistic and grounded. That it's so difficult to do that, because the moment you miss the mark, it's hard to get it back. When it comes to that sort of characterization, and this show is doing such a good job.
I see a lot of people comparing this to K-On!, and I don't think that's apt.
Yeah, no.
I think this is so much more... I think what this does better, and what it does in its favor, like that makes this more distinct, is how, like you mentioned, grounded it is. Like every background is like clearly, and like when they're in the city, it's clearly some place. It's all evocative of something real. And K-On! Said, fuck that, we have a crazy concert and fireworks and bullshit. This one just feels... I love how it's taking this really calculated approach to the logistics of going to Antarctica. Like, I don't know, a lot of the minutia and them like learning about these things in this episode, having to put down the paths and like calculate their route and do all this kind of stuff. I love seeing that. And this is really doing a lot to make these characters feel more real to me, is giving them a similar background, because it's so... They do a lot with like verisimilitude, like that word. Yeah. And they do a lot with that in this.
Yeah, I think so many shows, if they had this exact same premise, would blow their load too early. Like episode 2 or 3, now we're in Antarctica.
Yeah,
Aurora Borealis, penguins, fuck. And yeah, this...
We're at the 4th episode, and they're just starting to learn what they're gonna be doing.
Yeah, and that's great, because this is the part that I find interesting. Like, no, take me step by step. Show me, like, I wouldn't have thought about using a compass and following flags and all that stuff, but
yeah. This really is this is, again, why people say a write what you know kind of thing, because this kind of stuff might be really mundane, or anybody that knows anything about going outdoors or camping or expeditions would know this kind of shit. But people like me who don't know, this is so fascinating, seeing that they have to do all these tiny little things, and the show points out every little one. Like, even in the PowerPoint that they get at the beginning, you see Antarctica with all the different countries that have different areas. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm learning something watching this. It's really cool.
Yep, and it's also super effective because it never just stops to give you that info dump. It dribbles it out little by little in between this character stuff.
Yeah.
Like, geez, at the end when the main character and Captain are talking, and Captain's like, what's your stake in this? Why do you want to do this? And she says, like, yeah, at first I just wanted to do something, and I glommed onto this because I met this. We made friends, and I want to help her, but now I want to go because it's Antarctica. And that felt so relatable, where, hey, guess what? I wouldn't be here except that I wanted, like, here, physically right now, except that I wanted a project to work on with you two guys.
Yeah.
Now that we're here, I want to keep watching this show because this show's real good. Like, I didn't give a shit about anime going into the first season of FMK. Like, I don't know, that's something that I liked a while ago, and I fell out of it, and now it's dead to me, and I don't care.
That was me for several years, actually.
Oh yeah, no, that was me before this too. I'd see a few highlights, a few things that I really attached, and I'd write off everything else as whatever. It's current garbage because I'd tune into a few shows people were talking about, and I usually hated them.
Yep.
But there is shit like this that is really good, but I don't know. I don't see a lot of people talking about it. You have to like kind of look for this kind of stuff.
Yeah. The scene with the mom in this, by the way, I have to talk about this because the scene with what's the main character's name? I always forget.
Kimari,
MC
Mari.
Fearful.
I'm just gonna call her Mari for right now. The scene with her mom was the best. I was not.
I totally forgot about that.
It's
Yeah, it
such
was really good.
It's such a good scene
Yeah.
because she corners her against the door and she's like, "Please put down the weapon." And she's like, "This isn't a weapon; it's a cooking utensil." But it's and she tries to open, like, the dad opens the door behind her, notices what's happening, and then just closes it. It's a horror movie scenario, and the timing.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I could have. That was the only part of this episode that I kind of could have taken or left. It was fine, but it got a little cartoony for my taste.
Yeah, that's more in line with like the K-On! Shit. Like really overblown. Humans don't act like this, but it's funny, type thing.
Yeah, that's, as I said, this is where, like, it was just a kind of a joke scene in general. But the good thing about that is it's contrasted immediately afterwards, like, her just at her desk, I've got to pass every test or I can't go.
Yeah.
And that is what made it even funnier because there is no actual, like, worry that something bad's going to happen. But it's this, and the cool thing is it's presented through this lens of the way that we interpret our parents as children. Where when they're upset at us, it is a horror movie scenario of, oh God, how do I respond? What do I do?
Yep.
And that's why the whole scene just worked out so well for me. It reminded me a little bit of Malcolm in the Middle. There's a very similar scene that happens. I don't know. It's
Yeah, I think Malcolm in the Middle played that a little too hard, a little too often, to where it's like, no, their mom is just abusive now.
yeah. Oh yeah. Agreed.
But as a scene like this, it's fine. If this started cropping up, like if every episode had a scene like this, it would be a bit much. As it was, yeah, it's fine. It's light and fluffy and funny, and
So you're ready for the sequel show where Mari's after Mari dies in the expedition, her dad turns to making meth.
Did you notice her mom already has a drug problem? Did you notice that she was telling Mari bring in the bath salts?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It's, she's on that rough street shit too.
Yeah, can't talk about that in kid shows.
Nope. Hakyu, Hoshin, Engi is dead.
Praise be.
Because
to
it's
the
real
knife.
bad. It's real bad.
Yeah. So yeah, I can't believe it fridged two characters in one scene.
It
next-
introduced them and then
yeah.
What the fuck?
That even okay. So
When Bandana, oh sorry, go ahead.
what the fuck?
When Bandana Dude is fighting some dude, is that the king?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
What? Yeah.
They don't
Wait.
say it.
I was calling him Bandana Boy in my notes.
Was
that
the
the king? Oh shit. Okay, he put on a bandana and I thought he was a different character.
Because they.
Yeah, because I thought it was someone else. Because Bandana Man fights
Yeah.
Bandana Boy.
Yes.
Is Bandana Boy the king?
I guess.
Yeah. In that.
I totally missed that too.
Because I missed that if he is.
Well, because he is trying, because he says, "I'm sorry, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault." He's saying, like, "I'm sorry that they died or they killed themselves," when it actually isn't his fault. And the main guy and Bandana guy knows that because he knows Daki's the one controlling them. But it's still this super awkward scene because there is no real emotional resonance. It's just awkward and dumb.
Also, why are these people still hanging around the mind-controlled king who they know is mind-controlled?
Yeah.
Why are they still... Like, his wife comes up to him and she's like, hey, I'm going to go visit your sister in the court of the mind-controlled king.
Yeah.
Why is his sister there? Why does he let his wife go there? Why any of this?
Like, none of this makes any sense. And maybe it would if you had more to it, but I don't know. This feels like a really bad Romance of the Three Kingdoms ass story.
So a Romance of the Three Kingdoms ass story. Because
Yes.
Don't be like
No,
that.
because this tries to do all like this relationship drama. I don't know who the fuck anybody is. So why do I fucking care?
there's an episode of South Park with Terrence and Phillip doing Canadian Shakespeare.
Yes.
And it just cuts in with them doing the in scene of Hamlet in their Canadian accents, buddy. The queen, doth the queen. This was that.
Yeah, yes.
Just that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. This show is spectacular. I cannot believe it exists. No, literally, I cannot believe that this got made.
Because
How?
who the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
who greenlit this?
I think there's like some anniversary. I believe I heard that there's like the 20th anniversary of the manga or some ending or some bullshit. Regardless, okay, so there was an older show and it never got to the end. So imagine like a new Soul Eater show where we see the first 5 episodes in the first episode.
Yeah, that's
That's what this is.
Yeah, I'm curious if an animation studio can use this as a write-off or something. Like at the very end, they're like, we have to spend the money on this. We have to make something.
Is this some kind of tax dodge or
Is this I don't know, maybe them trying to keep a hold of the rights to the show? Maybe they were about to expire if they didn't do something with it?
Maybe the people working on this show are actually are like, smuggling money, smuggling drugs.
Yeah, they're laundering those bath salts
It
money.
happened with Dragon Half.
I know. It's going to happen.
Yep.
It's going to happen.
All right, we don't have to belabor that
thank
point.
you.
It's dead.
Nope,
Fuck it.
it's dead.
It's awful.
And I see that we got to clack the clackboard. We'll be right back. Junji Ito
You got it.
Collection.
Okay. I loved this. I don't know what you're talking about. This feels like the most cohesive and interesting out of every single episode.
I did. Okay, so let's talk about the individual segments as
Sure.
they
No,
are,
I want
so.
to talk about the holes.
Okay, let's talk about holes. Again, this is the first time, literally the first time
That I saw Shia LaBeouf in a movie. I'm really hoping I got that reference right. I don't think I did.
4 episodes that I'm actually scared.
Yeah, totally.
And that was in and of itself a feat because I hate the way the show looks. I hate the way the show is told. I hate its soundtrack. That hate developed over several episodes, by the way. I did not feel like this in the first episode, but it has just worn on me. So when I see something that's effectively telling its story, I'm like, all right, that's good. Like, you're this close, Junji Ito Collection, to actually captivating me. But there are things about it that, like, again, I didn't like the story and how it played out. Because I love the idea of just this object cursing somebody, but the servant of the stone? No, I'm sorry. Like, I was like, nope, no, that's not scary. That's just adding another element that is supposed to be scary, but it's just kind of, I don't know. The stuff, I would have dug the stuff with the insects, though. The stuff with the insects, I was like, oh, God, that sounds like the worst.
Terrifying.
That sounds like the most terrible thing. But
Yeah, it did feel a little cluttered. Like you've got holes in your body. Okay, that's a creepy idea. Insects getting up in your business. That's a creepy idea. Creepy doctors. That can be a creepy idea. Cursed stone. No, now it's too much stuff.
neighbor who's also cursed. Well, we
Yeah.
needed an impetus for this, but
Yeah, hurricanes. Those can be scary.
Oh yeah, and the hurricane. I'm like,
Yeah, lacked focus.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't even know why was there a hurricane? I mean,
Because they happen?
yeah, I mean they happen, but it just like, yeah, I know hurricanes happen, but from a narrative standpoint, it just served no real purpose for me.
Okay, I guess it's because I read this, and so I knew everything was going to happen, so none of this seemed weird to me. I'm like, okay, I read that story. I would just like to see it in anime form. Like, a lot of the story hang-ups you have are with the manga, because it's also in the same thing.
Oh yeah, but I'm treating this like it is. I'm treating it at face value.
And to that regard, I feel like this was one of the more interesting ones. That something was happening. I don't think it ever wasted a moment. to me. I felt like something was always happening and something that was always 1 degree askew, because what he does is he tries to paint that there is, like Lovecraftian stories, is that there is always like your base reality and then there is something going on under it. And there are a few people that kind of poke up and that you will see, but there is this deep underbelly of crazy shit going on, and people will usually not believe you.
Yeah. And again, one of the cool things about Junji Ito's work is that, God, it really just feels like a dream.
Yeah, all of his stuff acts like that.
And to that extent, that works for me on paper, literally on paper. Like in motion, with actual colors and sound effects and all this stuff, it's not doing enough to sell these ideas. They're just presented. They're put in front of you. Oh, isn't this scary? And I'm like, conceptually, yes, but I'm actually, I don't get the music with you. You like the music. I don't. Nothing about it is creepy or scary.
It's not so much the music. I think a lot of it comes with how the music plays, and they use silence too. I don't know. I feel like it's an okay suspense tracks for me. Like I don't know.
Well,
it's fine.
It's weird because this is the guy who does the soundtrack for My Hero Academia. I love the music this guy does. But here, I feel like he's trying to capture like this slice of lifestyle to make it kind of creepier because, it's everyday life, but this creepy shit's going on.
I don't really get that.
Yeah. Well. Also, the puppets are dumb. I'm sorry.
They're not dumb.
They're dumb. Really
cool.
I also realized that I was sort of in a bad mood when I watched this, and that might be coloring some of it. Yeah, because I watched this. I put it off until the last minute. And then I had to go get Lawrence Moskowitz from the airport, and that is, you want to talk about everyday nightmares, getting into and out of the Dallas airport.
Yep. Yeah, give me a story about that.
Yeah, this labyrinth that is impossible to escape because the road signs point you the wrong way, and fuck all this.
My husband will do anything he can to avoid picking me up or taking me to the airport. I swear to God.
Yeah. Oh, at various times, I have said, you know what? I'm just never doing it again. I will get an Uber every time. I will pay for somebody else to get an Uber rather than go myself. And I don't know, I buckled this time, and I was reminded why I don't do that.
But Junji Ito.
But Junji Ito. So I got back from that later than I had expected, and it's like, okay, I got to watch my 20 hours of anime for the week. I'm tired and cranky, and I really just want to be playing Overwatch. I think if I'd gone into the puppet segment in a different mood, like that segment in episode, I think 2 with the creepy woman and nobody realizes how creepy she is. And like this reminded me of that, where the real horror is that everybody's treating this like it's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and that dumb puppet, like Jean-Paul, I think his name is. Jean-Pierre, that's what it was. Yeah. Gone into in the mood to have some fun. That could have been a dumb, fun, spooky, like, I'm a crazy puppet, fuck you.
That's what that's what I got out of it. Like, I don't know. This reminds me of Courage the Cowardly Dog at its best. Like, that's what this feels like. And I don't know. Maybe it's because I've already read these, and so I know what's going to happen, and I know that these are just insane. Like, it is just insanity what happens here. There is like a logic that it tries to present, but there will always be holes in it, and that's the point. The point is that none of this is consistent, and I like that. I get it. Yeah. Fucking. Can we just move on? I fucking hate this guy.
Oh, I just got the Shia LaBeouf thing.
Did I make the reference?
What Shia LaBeouf thing?
Hey, Holes, the movie Holes.
Oh, the movie Holes! Damn it!
I had to I try not to pull out my phone during these things because I feel like that's because I don't want to interrupt the flow of the conversation.
What's the next fucking show?
Kokkoku.
What do you have to say? Sakura. What about Sakura?
I'm okay. So for those who want to tune into the Kaiser's Cardcaptor Clear Card Corner.
Oh, this part.
Hold on. I'm actually going to hold off doing them every other episode because I have to with this show. Otherwise, it's totally episodic and it's so slow moving.
Yeah, no, and I get it. It's tough to talk about a show that you like with two people who aren't watching it with you and don't share that same affection. It can start to feel Yeah. No,
So-
I get it. And I actually made a note this time because I've been calling it the Scott, why should we give a shit about Cardcaptor Sakura? That was fun and goofy the first couple of times. I think beyond a certain point, that starts to get actively hostile, which is against the... I'm not actually trying to be hostile to your enjoyment of this show, so I'm going to try and approach it from a better place.
So thank you. And yeah, we will talk about sentient trees next week.
Okay. But right now, Kokkoku, the Herald looks like a sentient tree.
Yes,
does.
in fact.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Made of
when
sand.
when you mentioned that, going into show with a bad mood, I tried my hardest to do that with this show because I feel like I already know what I'm gonna get, and it has been consistently just doing that, underwhelming me. It is just, it has so much promise and is doing fuck all with it and going in directions that I think are intrinsically boring and not fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to agree to a certain extent because, again, the stuff with the cult, I don't know who any of these people are. So their long conversations become increasingly insufferable. And we go back to the dad to have no conversation of any meaning.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't actually add up to anything. We don't really learn anything about these characters, nor does it move the plot. The dad just sits there like a fucking bore, like, the entire time. I'm like,
Yep,
why do we have this scene?
There's a reason why I didn't include it in the plot synopsis, because fuck all happens.
Yeah, no, because by and large...
Also, does everybody in the show have amnesia? Because Juri, she went
Yeah,
into
right.
stopped time
And
as a
it's like,
child and
oh,
forgot
yeah,
about it.
I did that one time. Maybe
Yeah.
there's magic shit. Maybe there's magic shit, Ben. Maybe the jellyfish contain memories, and when you're ejaculated from time, you don't have them anymore.
And then she's like, hey, was there somebody else there? And Granddad, who remembered this whole thing and thought that she forgot it, he's like, I don't know, maybe. Well, what? Was she there or not?
It's like it's trying to dangle these keys of mystery and doing and it's not fun. It's not like it's a bad way to keep people invested, because right now we're only invested because of these questions, and they're not that
Actually,
engaging.
let's get real. We're only invested because we wanted to kill Hakyu, Hoshin, and Engi first.
But
I would like to point out that Hakyu, Hoshin, Engi was always going to be the thing that died, no matter what you guys voted to kill this week, because I didn't vote to kill anything else. And I wasn't gonna, because I did. Oh, except for Junji Ito, but you actually seemed at least you would have enjoyed that. And I'd like to address a little bit of the metagaming. This week, there's definitely a show that needed to die. We won't do that every week.
Yeah. I don't know next week.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Next week is totally a grab bag, and do not expect us to do this again. But yeah, no, Hakyu, Hoshin, Engi was always going to go.
Yeah.
I, however, did vote to continue fucking this show because I think things are going to pick up next week. But if they don't, yeah, that knife might just come out. We might lose Kokkoku next week. We also might lose a couple of other shows. Possibly, to the wheel. So
Yeah, or more likely to a poll, probably, because it feels like each of us has one thing that we're continuing to give a fuck to, or a fuck about.
yeah.
That the other two are more middling on. So yeah, it's lots of stuff could happen next week. If you're in this for the what's gonna die, next week's gonna be a real interesting week.
Yeah.
But
Ooh.
yeah.
Also, can we talk about the fact that, Tsubasa's terrible, and I hate him, and I really wish he wasn't in the show. Makoto, on the other hand, I actually found more entertaining this episode than last.
Was he in this episode?
Yeah, remember when they go into the store, and he's like, oh, here, let me help you, and starts stacking the cans back up? That's his mom, by the way.
I was being facetious, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
I did not pick up that was his mom.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he even says, it's like, because he's happy to help mom, and then he realizes that she stopped, and he gets a sad look on his face. Yeah, I think the whole being stopped in time thing is starting to wear thin for poor little Makoto. But then also the cult guy is there, so that shit's about to go crazy. But yeah, no, Tsubasa's terrible, and I don't know what the plot's planning on doing with him, because it's like, both him and his dad are just terrible.
They're the same character.
Basically, yeah. They're both different shades of useless and pointless. So,
Can I point out that this is the third time that we've established if you try to kill one of the stalled, the herald's gonna kill you.
well, this one had payoff because we actually got to see something about the heralds that is like
That had
okay.
already been established with dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to agree. Like, I feel like didn't we already establish that people just kind of become the herald? But
Like it's establishing the same plot points to different characters, but since so many of the characters are interchangeable, like this was 3 different groups of cult guys who learned this. They're all the same character, just narrow it down.
But we did just kill. Okay, are there multiple heralds right now, or is there just that one? Yeah, I'm kind of curious. That does kind of have me curious because what is the deal with the heralds? I don't know. We'll see. Well, we've got another episode at least, so.
I think I fucked this show, and boy, the more we're talking about, the more I'm thinking, this really did deserve a knife, didn't it?
Honestly, if you want to give something a knife, I firmly believe, even with Hoshin, I'm like, no. I like.
I
I will knife anything that I could not recommend to somebody, and right now that was definitely Junji Ito, and yeah.
What I'm trying to avoid is a situation like last season where I knifed Kino's and then in retrospect went, that was harsh.
But
Oops.
what is it against? Okay, you're saying like the metagaming is bad. We all agree Hoshin Engi had to die.
Yeah.
What did we lose here?
Yeah,
Nothing.
no. Like,
That's the thing. I am not saying the metagaming is bad. I'm saying I metagamed the fuck out of this week, and I'm fine with that.
I don't. But the funny
Scott
thing
was saying earlier you didn't like it. I'm like, I
Hey.
think that's fun. I think it's part of the show.
no, well, no. But anyway, it was funny because you guys talked about like I want to make sure this dies. I'm like, I'm over here like it's gonna. Don't worry. I knew you were like I knew.
That's
that,
the thing. It's this prisoner's dilemma thing. Because if I and what we do is we do not compare notes. We
Yeah,
do not
no.
say, hey, I'm with a couple of exceptions. We all knew that we were gonna knife Hakyu Hoshin Engi
Yeah.
because why pretend?
Yeah, no.
But yeah, we do not like sit down and go, well, here's my knife list and here's my fuck list. Because if I knew for a fact that one of you was gonna eggplant Kokkoku, then yeah, I would have knifed it. But I'm not gonna ask.
Do you want to be that guy?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this here and now. I don't metagame. I don't plan on metagaming. So if you want to let me go first, go ahead.
No, well, that's the thing. I also don't, I decide, I've got it down in writing what I'm doing to each. I do not change, because I think that's kind of fucked up.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I do not wait to see what you do before making my decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. Like this is fun though. Like as much as I don't want to metagame.
That's why, trying to guess what everybody else is going to do, that is a fun part of the metagaming.
That's what I always
to
do.
me.
Is like, oh shit, what's he's probably gonna, because I was like, okay, Scott's never gonna like Junji Ito, so what do I gotta do?
Yep.
All in all though, that being said, Kokkoku is a show that I'm still interested in. But yeah, this is the last pass I'm giving it, effectively.
I think I fucked it. I think I did.
Did you
because,
fuck it?
Yeah, because here's the thing. It's still putting up enough guns on the mantelpiece that hopefully one of them fires and something cool happens.
oh yeah. Chekhov's got an armory back there. We're like, can we get something, please?
I keep hoping to just anything that
But
I
see,
don't know.
that's why I like the fact that she just went, fuck this, and then starts
Because literally anything happened.
Yeah, I like that. I'm glad she's doing that because I didn't want it at first, but then when she starts doing it, I'm like,
Finally, my expectations got lowered enough that I would accept it.
Yes,
Kind
I
of.
think that's kind of what it is because I don't like her being a fucking Hyuga clan ninja, but I am okay. I
Oh my
want
God.
anything to happen.
she is
that's what she is.
she's the fucking Hugo. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Hakata Tonkotsu Ramens. Speaking of Chekhov's guns, that I'm this and Kokkoku are on a surface level such different shows, but maybe it's just the fact that they're back to back on the list, and I almost always watch this in list order. But they just blend together for me. Is something cool gonna happen? Is something finally? Are they finally going to pay off any of this setup?
I think it depends. I think what Ramens has in its favor is I like the interactions a lot more because they're varied enough between a cast that at least has something different when they're on the screen as compared to Kokkoku, where everyone's just the same character saying different things. Like it's really all the same person if you look at it. But for Ramens, like at least there's some dynamic shit with the bartender, with Banba, with the mafia dude. I love the scene with the Russian dude, and he pulls out like the knife gun. That was cool.
Oh yeah, it was also rough to watch because the show is not afraid of violence.
Oh yeah, I was like,
and yeah, no, when he's like a knife, no, that's not gonna work. Takes it out and just stabs him in the stomach. I'm like, oh, ow, okay, that's rough. And then he takes out the fucking gun knife, and it's like, what are you doing with that? And then, poof,
yeah,
I was like, oh, cool. No, I mean, it's a little, I don't know. Do those exist?
I don't care. We're in a city of hitmen.
I also saw that coming because it's like super slow mo, like.
Oh yeah, no.
And you can see the little holes.
It's telegraphed early, but I like it.
I do kind of wish I'm on your side. I wish we'd have known what was happening after it happened. That would have been great.
If you just pulled the knife out and you heard a gunshot, that would have been cool.
Yeah, and then it just a shot changed to him holding it and smoke coming from the barrel. I would have been like, that could have been better.
Yeah, like that's the thing is shit is done competently in this show, but it's not unique or interesting for a lot of it. Like it is, I'm engaged enough. I will watch this show because I have to. But
also, did you guys know that Russians are immune to knives?
Yes.
What the fuck was that? Like, everything else in this show is like, yeah, it's crazy, wacky crime drama, but nobody has superpowers.
Hackerman.
Well, yeah. But
look,
but that's just dumb movie logic. I don't know. Having Russian guy just be straight up immune to knife wounds was a step too far for me.
Well, he's not immune to knife wounds, but at the same time, he's like, yeah, you're gonna need something a little bit like better than that knife to take me down.
He's like that one Bond villain that can't feel pain.
You know, there's a person who actually had that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
and it was terrible.
I was gonna say that sounds terrifying. You don't have anything internal? That's scary as shit.
Yeah, no, like little things that you don't think about. Like if I sit in this position, which is not ergonomically correct, for too long, eventually my back will start to hurt and I will shift. Yeah. They don't do that.
Yeah.
And so it puts such strain on their body. They're gonna live to be like 35.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
Yeah, that is terrible.
That's a really good Junji Ito collection. Where it would be, but
yeah. But no, but beyond that, we get to see Sad Sack deal with the fallout of all that, which, by the way, there is a small exchange that I really liked in here because I love when media does this, where the Revenger takes the case, Banba knows about this, about Sad Sack, and so in one small conversation, the Revenger dude is like, oh, by the way, this one job I'm taking, and then gets cut off right before he can tell him, which would have then probably changed a lot of this stuff up. Or at least would have introduced this whole like, wait a second, that's the guy who in the same room is...
That's the thing. Like, if I could keep track of who these fuckers are, then I might care. But... like, because it feels like everybody is playing both sides to some extent. Like, because this is a town where crime is everywhere and everybody's a hitman, like, everybody has to have some sort of working relationship with everybody else. And so you have these situations where, like, the bartender guy is telling, like, hey, I'm supposed to hire this hitman to go after you, and how do you want me to handle this? And that is a cool premise. But because I don't have a clear sense of who these people are and what they want, anybody could do anything at any time, so there's no stakes and I don't care.
Wow. I don't see it that way, personally.
What does literally any character want?
Well, I'm not exactly sure what Hackerman's all about, but at the very least, he does seem... to a certain extent,
like with the exception of Hitman Girl, we know what Hitman Girl wants. Yeah. That's revenge. Okay, good. That's one.
Nobody else wants anything. I absolutely. There is no established motivation. This is not a show about the characters. This is an event show, and hopefully the characters get good.
Yeah, I mean, with Sad Sack, Sad Sack's whole business is kind of, again, continues to be more hilarious to me than anything, which I think it's supposed to be. I think
Yeah, it's
his
supposed to be
whole
goofy.
storyline is supposed to be kind of funny, and how he just keeps up ending in these terrible scenarios and should never have taken this job. And I don't know. For him, he's funny. I find the Revenge dudes interesting, mostly because they've had some really solid scenes. I think they've had the most interesting scenes. Like, you have the one guy who's a torturer who just gets done torturing a dude and is almost about to do the same to Sad Sack. You have him punching Hitman Girl as revenge and being like, whoa, no, that's all I'm here for. And the whole card change is really good. You have they're the most interesting part of the show for me because we know what their deal is. And whenever they're utilized,
I think it can be fun to have a character that is just in it for the punch clock. Morning Sam, morning Ralph. You know, they go out, I think that's a cool idea. I go out and murder people every day, and then when I clock out, no hard feelings, that's the end of it. But when every character is that, no.
Yeah, no, I think this is not doing anything. Again, it's not doing anything really dynamic with a seemingly dynamic cast because there is no contrast between people.
it would be a lot better if Banba were more interesting. Because largely, Bamba right now is easily the most boring character. Even though he's got the most going on in terms of, he's involved in all these plot threads, but there's nothing to him. He's just really competent at what he does. He's really smart, but he never loses his cool. He doesn't have any quirks about him other than Spicy Pollock, you're not funny, dude. It's not funny. It wasn't funny the first time.
This kind of fish. Dislikes. I don't know. We'll see that in episode 5.
I guess does he also like baseball? I think he likes baseball.
Who fucking cares?
By the way, I bet
what
you the
he
name.
likes?
I bet you the name comes from Hakata Tonkotsu Ramens. I bet you is a baseball team.
Oh, man.
Right?
Maybe.
They keep referencing baseball. I'm not going to be surprised.
Watch it on High Dive, get the translator's notes.
Are we getting the clickety clacky? All right.
Let's clicky clack it.
It's not a great show. I'd even struggled to call it a really good show, but
I said B, but I think C+ is a bit more on the mark.
yeah, I would sway more of that. Maybe B- for me. B- for me.
It's competent.
Guys, can we move on to something that got a solid fucking A+ for me this week? Let's
Yeah,
talk about
yes.
Tiny Life in the Woods.
Yeah,
Yes!
we can.
So good. I was worried about this show last week. I wasn't willing to.
Yeah, a little. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't willing to write it off, but I just wasn't having quite as much fun last week. And this week, yes, everything I wanted in the exact proportions and measurements that I wanted it.
Yeah, I liked the thicker back half of this episode. Haha.
Yeah, girl.
And he wants those tiny 3-centimeter girls. And but I loved seeing her doing something. Period. And I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just really cool seeing her do carpentry. We're gonna fix the windmills because of course you saw. And I liked seeing because we gotta grind the food. Everything's really big.
The rice.
Yeah, right. She's hitting the rice. It's so cool.
Also, the dynamic up until this point has been Mikochi's, she's established, she knows what her life is and what her deal is, she's the responsible one, and Hakumei's kind of the fuck up.
Yeah.
And I liked in both parts, actually, we got to see Hakumei being the competent one. Like it starts off with Hakumei fucking up real bad. Oh shit, I just blew up literally your entire house. But pivots right on to, okay, we're going to go camping. This is my world. Let me show you what I'm good at. Yeah, that was really cool to see.
By the way, her house getting blown up, really a blessing in disguise. Because their new house is even better.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, the greenhouse?
Yeah, that's
Oh my God.
cool.
Yeah, right? I was like, no, that's awesome. You guys have a greenhouse now. Holy crap.
It does, and this is just the way my brain works. Because we have all been saying, I want to know how their little economy works. I want to know, what is their whole deal? Is it just me, or does Tiny Necromancer break their whole economy? In a labor-based economy, if you can just summon infinite skellies to build a house in a day?
Good point. We're not going to talk too much about that, though. are we?
Well, it depends. Where?
That is not a criticism, by the way. That is, hey, let's take this thought experiment to its that is only a good thing.
What about the bugs? Where do the bugs fit in? Because Mikochi seems to hate certain bugs. Are those different than other bugs?
Guys, have you been watching the end credits? How they give you a little
the
extra,
factoids?
a little extra.
Oh,
factoid.
no. I'll have to go back.
Oh yeah,
They're just cute little things, but they tell you both in like real terms what I don't know, a Goliath beetle I think does, and what in universe they do. It's really cool.
Oh, okay. I will have to go back and watch that. I missed it.
Yeah.
'Cause they're like, hey, these beetles are used for transportation, stuff like that. It's really neat.
Yeah, in the episode where they go to the port town, it gives a little hey, by the way, this town was founded by these three friends, and they decided on that it would be stacked up high over drinks. They said, I don't know, this is a dumb idea, let's do it.
You know, I usually watch all of the openings and endings at least through at least once for every one of these shows. I don't know why I didn't for this, because it looks really good. Like, I've seen parts of it, but I kind of tuned out, so I'll have to do that.
Yeah, they have fun. Like this world that really does speak to what I enjoy the most about this show is it's the setting. The world is the focus, which is what I wanted going in, and it continues to be such a fun thing to explore. And even her just going to work, they made really interesting because hey, we've got I don't know, windmills that I guess are like this big.
Yep. Also, how does she get to work? On the bus, of course. That's pulled by was it a weasel?
No, it was a capybara, I think.
Okay.
Because there was a bunny also waiting for the bus. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's endearing. It's cute.
Yeah. And and I won't lie to you. I'm not even gonna lie. As a furry, I'm like, Iwashi Donnie is awesome. I love Mr. Weasel Boss. He's cool.
Yeah. This show needs to keep doing stuff like this. Just keep putting unique scenarios. What else functions in the world this way? Let's actually do an episode where we go to the bank or something,
Yeah.
you know?
That'd
be awesome.
I am totally up for an episode of them just working out their finances.
Yeah, it would probably be fun to watch.
Yeah, it is why the subtitle is Tiny Life in the Woods. That's what this is. You know what I did notice for a hot second that kind of brought me out of it? Not badly or anything, but when they go camping and they look up at the stars, oh my God, look at the stars. You live in the woods, y'all. Wouldn't you it's not like there's light pollution.
I think it's kind of more of a when you're out in the middle of the woods, there's nothing going on in your home. It's just you and nature. I think there is a bit of a separation there.
I took it as more of escaping the canopy. Because if they're in the woods, and so you're not going to actually see the stars, you'll see the tree canopy, especially if they're that small.
Yeah, maybe, although they made camp under a tree.
That's true.
So is it that different? I don't know.
They were at the edge of the woods, I guess. I don't know.
It felt a little. See, that's where I saw usually this is this self-contained little universe that operates by its own logic, and that was the one part where it's well, I know because I live in the fucking city and the stars, the night sky looks like shit most of the time. When I go out camping, it's oh my God, I don't get this every day.
Again, I think it also has to do with the fact that they're away from home. It's just them and nature at that point. And I think that's kind of the separation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have a TV or something. You have the sky.
You don't have your books or your chores or anything like that. You're free.
Yeah. But, yeah, real good. I continue to love the framing of the little...
Yeah, they still do such cool shit. And there was one scene when they first get to the windmills where they have half the screen is white, and I was ready for a fade in. They don't do anything with it. It's just the right half of the screen shows the windmill with the bus, and there's just nothing on the other side. It looks cool.
Also, just again, the timing for the comedy in this show is rock solid. Again, when he's lifting up the lumber and suddenly it slams up and he's like, "Wow, that was fast!" And then it's just him hanging there, "Yep, everything's fine."
Yep. Or the in the first segment when the necromancer is rebuilding their house and she's gonna show him around. Okay, well the front entrance is a little bit of a surprise, so I'm gonna take you through the back way first. And that whole time, I'm just like, oh, what's the front? What's the entranceway going to be? What's it going to be? Oh, it's a fucking rib cage. Like, just, it's nice and it's understated, but it does just a perfect job of building up just that little bit of suspense and then paying it off. I love it.
I would not have expected rib cage.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, but now I'm like, man, that looks really cool.
Yep. And they're taken aback by it, but, it's fine.
Yeah.
We're just going to keep this creepy-ass rib cage as the entire front of our house. Yep. So, not much more to say. It's one of those... I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know exactly what you're getting. When you look at it, just a screenshot of this show does kind of tell you what you're getting.
Yeah.
And it's a very nice and pleasant watch.
So cute.
It is.
Yep. Watch it. It's on High Dive. Go get it.
Yeah.
It's real good. Speaking of shows that you know exactly what you're going to get
Let's
every
go
time.
on from weasels to badgers.
Yeah. I want to see a weasel person in Cilling Bites.
I think we might have already. I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe Airsat's Vegeta's a weasel.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's-
maybe.
I
Yeah.
could dig on that.
So this show just continues to be one of the things I'm the most excited for. And I don't know if it's that excitement. It's not just that excitement. No, it's not. Because I'm excited going in. But consistently, the episode does something crazy or something new that I'm like, yes, this is what I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. This might be the weakest one so far, and it's still real good.
Yeah, I will agree that it feels weaker, but it is still fantastic to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, again, there's going to be a certain part of it that plays to my taste and a certain part that's not.
Yeah.
But I can at least... I've seen enough of this stuff to know what is effective and what does a good job. And I think as a fan service episode, it hits a lot of points for a lot of people. That being said, I don't like Yuasa. I don't hate him. But I'm like, okay, if your role is literally to be the human, please step it up just a little bit with this character. Then again, I also...
Oh, is that his name?
I thought it was Yuasa.
That's the one I've been calling perfectly ordinary college
I
student.
think so.
All right.
Is that his name? I thought you were referring to Masaki Yuasa, the director that I love earlier.
Oh, no.
I was like, I thought you were like, we can all agree Yuasa sucks. I was like, yep.
I mean, yeah, he sucks, but like
No, I like him.
Like so much else in this show, he sucks just enough.
He's the
Yeah.
best beta bitch, and it's awesome.
I
And that's
will-
exactly what this show needs.
I mean, I will agree a lot of the jokes with him work very well. And he's not... I don't dislike him because, again, he is necessary for this to work the way that it does. But at the same time... Man, you are absolutely right. He was the only reason he was able to talk the bunny girl into helping them was because he was more pathetic than she was. And I kind of wish that had been more properly stated because that's hilarious.
Oh, see, I think that is because that was kind of just, brushed past and it's gone. I think if they had tried to, again, like so much else in this show, if they had tried to dwell on that and actually make some kind of point or some kind of theme.
Yeah, it might have taken away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
I like him just still being in crutches. That's so
Oh.
funny to me.
Yeah, I love the fact that he's spending most of this in, because I feel like most other shows would have just been like, and I'm good.
And whatever, he's fine. But no, he's not getting consistently shat on, but he is I don't know. He works as the deflated character that he needs to be because everyone else around him is so insane that he needs to be that. I don't know. I like it.
I actively dislike Bunny Girl, though. I like the fact that she has something for this team, but otherwise.
I laughed my ass off when she started burrowing, and then we get that shot of bunnies will burrow in danger. That's so funny.
Yeah, I actually didn't find it funny.
Oh yeah, I did too. And I think again, if they had tried to build up this whole oh, see, you also have something to contribute
No,
and
you're
it can
shit.
be Yeah. No, it's all treated as a big dumb joke where she is yeah, go team, I'm going to be awesome, and everyone's just yeah, no, whatever. We got the third slot that we need to enter this.
Tell everyone Bunny Bitch did it. Okay, fine. Now she can stay in the back of the trailer.
Yep.
Now this show consistently does everything I want and need and more.
The action in this episode is a little less overstated, but it does some cool things. It's very well storyboarded, and I do really love that shot. Whenever they want to get creative with Hitomi, she just does some cool stuff. Like she kicks that pipe up, grabs it, and hits the other chick. It was good stuff. Like I'm happy to see that this show, again, even when it's not overly animated, it's effectively communicating the weight of objects and.
It's as you mentioned earlier, it knows how to use the environment, which is something a lot of action shows fumble hard.
Yeah.
Like you get the nice sense of confinement in the alleyway, and just the fact that someone else is behind her. I gotta find some way to get that.
Yeah,
that was cool.
I think that is the one thing that this show does actually well is, like you say, the weight, the environment, just the action, and I think like that is the element that had to be there, or else everything else falls apart. Everything else can be garbage and shitty, and it's fine and it's fun. But that and the soundtrack. I love those dumb electric guitars.
Yeah, no, the stupid Junt soundtrack is fantastic because they try to make everything like it's the end of the world.
Yep.
It's so good.
But yeah, I will say the one thing that I hope they improve a little on is because they've got these 4 Zaibatsus.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I wish they gave each one some sort of gimmick or hat to help me remember who is who.
Yeah,
I
me
think,
too.
Didn't the I think what they're gonna get to is that the different Zaibatsus are different at species. Because aren't the reptile girls from a different Zaibatsu?
I see. That's the thing. I couldn't fucking tell you.
I think I want to say they were, and I want to think that the different Zaibatsus will have different like species or classes of animals.
Yeah, I don't know myself. I don't know because Hitomi's mammal, right? Mm-hmm. So is Cheetah Chick.
Yeah, and weren't they in the same thing?
Yeah, but the bear's in a different one.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then never mind.
And like what I want them to be is just the Harry Potter houses. Because that did a great job of, here's the good house, the evil house, the hardworking kind of lame house, and the smarty pants house.
Yeah.
That gives you just an immediate, okay, I know who's who, easy peasy. Yeah. I need that if they won't expect me to keep track of this. And like so far, the Ishida is the one that Fat Wolverine's from. Mm-hmm. Already in my head, okay, they're Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
They're kind of lame, but they're good-hearted, probably.
Yeah. I'm all down for them having these dumb but overarching themes for each of them.
Yeah.
Also learning that huge lore bomb, people sign up to be turned into animal monsters.
Yeah.
Like
right?
I was like, oh shit.
I was kind of curious, where are these guys coming from? Are they made in a lab? No. They can sign up to be them.
Yeah, I'm curious because it seems to be, because this is all underground shit. Mm. So it doesn't seem like, I don't know. There's can a civilian just go and do this? Or is this just these crime syndicates that do it? It doesn't seem like the general public knows that these are a thing.
No. I think you got to know somebody. I see a lot of Tekken in this.
And here's the thing. Yeah. I don't care either.
Yeah, this is either.
Yeah, it could be one, it could be the other, it could be vague the whole way through. It's all fine by me.
Because, in place of maybe what some would say critical story points, we're getting great action and fun characters and cheesecake, so.
Yep. Yeah. It's real dumb. I like it. Darling and the Franxx. It's real dumb. I don't like it.
Yeah.
'Cause it's boring dumb.
Farling and the Danks is a weird show. I think it is being held back from itself.
Intentionally or un?
Yeah, I think, and that's what I noticed specifically in this episode, because they are poking at a lot of things that could be cool. I'm waiting for the crossing the threshold moment. Are we going to escape from this city? Are we going to actually see the origins of these dinosaurs in other shit? They're teasing a lot, and I feel like it can deliver them, but it is trying so hard to restrain itself, it seems.
The one of the major things for me is I the whole scene with the Franxx underground was so paint by numbers that it was really difficult for me to actually get engaged. I love the designs of the Franxx. I think, like, conceptually, they just appeal to me. But the actual fight, like, again, as I said in the regular segment, oh yeah, of course there's going to be more than one of the tiny ones. Oh, of course there's going to be a big one. And of course, 02 is going to come down there and save them. And the only thing I think that was a little surprising to me is that, and even not that surprising, just effective, was so Mr. Nice Hair, Mitsuru. He's going on about like, oh yes, we all know that Hiro was the leader of us before we decided to become parasites, but fate had other options for him. Now we have to move on without him. And he's playing up like he's faintly paying him the respect he deserves as being this guy who led them before they were about to become parasites. And then once he actually gets in there and like, I knew I wasn't the problem. I'm awesome. I'm great. And that moment where 02 is like, okay, cool. So then I can go all out. And the look on his face when he is spent, he's like, wait, the fuck are you talking about? I liked that. I actually thought that was very effective in communicating that, yeah, no one can handle this chick. She's crazy. And I dig on that. I like the fact that she's dangerous and for particular reasons. She's too much for regular people to handle. Which then does make me curious about the blandest character in the entire thing, a.k.a. the main character, but only in a way...
Because he's the chosen one.
Yeah.
He's the chosen one. He is the only one who can handle her because he has this special power locked inside of him. Most people have a 3-leaf clover or a 4-leaf clover, but he has a 5-leaf clover, so he is the best. He is the anti-magic when everyone...
What I'm hoping is that he's not... that there's just something about them that has been lost that she sees in him that other people can't have. I'm really hoping that it's not just he's really just better than the rest of them for no reason.
I'm going to spoil this for you, Scott. It's that, though. That's all it is. I have no faith that this show is setting up anything more interesting because it's given me no reason.
I mean, you're not particularly wrong. I mean, so far as it's been... The most interesting thing about it is 02 as just this disruptive force in their lives. And the visuals, she's always shot so well. Mm-hmm. Like all these...
I love when she's on the screen. She's captivating.
She eats up every scene. But that's kind of to the detriment of everyone else.
Totally, yeah.
And if she weren't a character, this show would be boring as dirt. But...
She's not a character, and this show is boring as dirt. She is.
I'm on your side, Scott. I'm with you.
I realized, though, this week, what my biggest problem with this show is, and it's because of what you brought up last time about this metaphor with, like, social whatevers. That's my problem, is this show only works on the metaphorical level.
And yes.
Because, so I'm watching it, and I'm thinking, because when I'm bored, all my brain has to do to maintain interest is to nitpick. And so I'm watching it, and I'm nitpicking, and I'm realizing, okay, so these kids grew up in an orphanage. They weren't given names. They didn't have parents. They were basically raised to have zero social skills and then thrown into this situation as mecha pilots where the only way to succeed is to have social skills. And I'm thinking... why would they do this? Why are they setting them up to fail? Yeah. And I'm realizing, because of what Scott was talking about, it's a metaphor where Japanese society just kicks these young adults out the door and says, then, I don't know, pair up and date and have kids, then what? I was never taught how to do this. I'm like, okay, that works as a metaphor. But no, in universe, though, why are they setting these kids up to fail? And then, let me finish.
No, go ahead.
I know you want to respond to this, and I want to let you.
I'm not going to cut in.
And then, okay, they're going to send them against these Metroids. Guys, last episode, they could barely walk in these fucking mech suits. Why are you sending them into a live fire combat situation when they are clearly not ready? Why? Because it's a metaphor for being sent into the workforce when you're not ready. No, No, it has to make sense on a straight ahead literal level before you can have this metaphor. And then you've got your two characters who you've just been in your KKK closed session. Let's talk about the secret plan of whatever. This child has the special power. He is the chosen one. Only he can be drift compatible with, but we won't send him out there with her. Why? Why any of this? It makes no goddamn sense. I hate this show.
It reminds me, it's evocative of Evangelion in the worst ways because of what you're saying. Like everything of like, why the fuck are you doing this? Why are these kids going out there who don't know what the fuck they're doing? Like, and it never really makes sense because Ava turned out to not be about the robots at all. The robots have no purpose other than being an allegory for your parents. That's it. So that's where I'm okay with this because I see it taking so much from the past and it is fumbling all of it through its hands, trying to do some cool trick and not catching these chainsaws.
Well, here's the counterpoint to exactly what you said. They're not building them to their entire point is not necessarily to have better social skills. It's to build relationships with each other, and
they're not teaching them to do that.
That's social skills. That works.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, but here's the thing: they all do get along with each other well enough. If you'll notice, they're all functioning, and in that test, we've seen them pilot these things and move these things and be functional in them. During that test fight, that was to test Hiro, and Hiro outright failed. And
so did Rival Boy, though.
Yeah, we saw Rival Boy fail there, but that also, like, we also see them. We see them once they actually get underground. They're doing fine. What the show is poorly set up is how well they are normally. That the show did fail at introducing that. There's no getting around it. I think it's supposed to be like they're okay at moving them. This was supposed to be their first mission. Like, if you can't handle this small task of killing this one tiny little thing, you failed. Because that was all they were supposed to do. But they fucked up. And but in and of itself, that kind of is like, how did you not consider that their weapons were going to attract more of them? That was poor planning on your part. And when 02 literally says, this colony is about to lose another team, I was like, how bad are you guys? How bad at this are you? Because I will agree, it's like, man, you guys really suck at prepping your pilots for dealing with this situation and also doing the proper amount of reconnaissance and information profiling to set them out there. Because, yeah, if it were just that tiny little thing and they'd killed it, they were about one. They were done. They could have left and gone home, but then a billion of them showed up because of course they would.
Ender's Game, I compared this to in the first episode. I think that comparison still holds. In Ender's Game, the book, not the movie, which was whatever, but in the book, the teachers isolate the main character. They make everybody hate him. And if that had just happened entirely from his perspective, you might have been sitting there going, wow, these guys are incompetent. Like, why would you intentionally isolate your most promising student? Instead, they show part of it from the teacher's perspective, and you get why. Because we need to put this kid in, because he is our most promising student, we're going to put him in the harshest situation possible where he can either fail spectacularly and be a nothing, or he will be so good that they can't afford to hate him. They have to be in his good graces. But if we do what we would do with anybody else, which is encourage teamwork, then he will bring himself down to everybody else's level in order to fit in. And we can't give him that option. And the reason why we can't give him that option is because war's coming and someone needs to be ready. This does not have that sense of stakes. It doesn't have that sense of urgency.
Yeah.
And it's nothing is ever from the adult's perspective. Even when it isn't, because they speak in mysterious nothings, and I don't care.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
this feels like it's trying to do that same thing and failing every time.
Although, what I'm really curious about is that the adults never really talk all that much highly about Hiro other than, statistically, he should be really good at this. Like, everything about him is like he should be excelling. He's a natural-born leader. Why can't he actually function when it comes down to it? And he doesn't get it either.
Because it's the metaphor.
Yeah.
That's why.
So, I don't know. Again, visually, this show was top-notch.
Totally.
It's the best-looking show this season. And I don't just mean from art and animation.
I believe that you believe that when you say it.
Oh, wait, from this season? And I'm not talking about Magus.
Yeah.
I'm still calling Magus is the last season show that just carried on.
I would take
Tiny
Hakumei.
Life?
Yep, Hakumei and Mikochi.
Killing Bites?
Oh, it's better looking than Cilling Bites. I love Cilling Bites, but let's not. No.
I agree with you though, because where you didn't like the mech fight scene, I loved because it looked so good.
Oh no, it looks really good, but it was so predictable that it took me out of it.
Whatever, every mecha show is predictable. They get in a robot. The robot is there, they get in it.
Yeah, but also the characters are better in some of those ones that are
that's
like in
why
Gurren Lagann. In Gurren Lagann, actually Gurren Lagann was kind of hard to predict because they just pull bullshit out of their ass. But
Yeah, I know.
Like-
They're going to. I predict more bullshit because if you watch anything from Trigger, the start is never where it ends.
Yeah.
Ever. So that is why I'm interested, because even the weakest Trigger opening will lead to something nuts.
yeah, but this is also A1 who's doing the
And
story.
I know, and that's what leads me to be very scared and hesitant.
Yeah, A1. It turns out A1 is writing this.
That I can tell.
Yep.
Because this
Because
is not
it's not-
as crazy as Trigger wants to be.
Oh yeah, it's not nearly as fun. That's
Yeah,
the one thing I
fun
was like.
is missing.
Yeah, I was like, this is a Trigger show. Are you, like I can visually, obviously, but why is it not like in every one of their other shows? They have something about it that makes it a lot more fun, and I'm not getting that here.
Totally.
My other problem with that I think we got to clack the clackboard. But yeah, that was my other problem with that scene. Like, I didn't have the problem with it being rote, just because I have seen less mecha shit than you guys. So yeah, I can totally see how it would be predictable. That didn't bother me. What did is because the only part that interests me is seeing how well it fits this metaphor. And that's real hard to parse when you've got 2 characters per robot, multiple robots in the fight, and having to keep track of, wait, who are the male-female pairs and which robot do they correspond to? And when the robot face is talking, which of the characters inside there are actually saying those lines? And I couldn't keep track of it, so
I
it was
think-
confusing.
I think you don't need to. Right now, I don't think you need to worry about it.
Well, not to mention if the robot's talking, it's the girls. When the girls talk, the mouth moves. When the boys talk, they don't. The mouths don't move. That's something I picked up on.
Maybe it did I was looking really hard to try and figure that out, and I couldn't keep it straight. So if that's the case, it did a shit job of establishing
I don't
it.
think you need to look that hard in it. I think you're looking too much into it to try and find that.
No, I mean, you may be right, but if that's the case, then the problem is that nothing else is interesting.
Yeah, no, and I get that.
I know, and so when you say your bored brain needs to do this, I get you. But I if you like mecha shit, just enjoy the mecha fight. Just take it for what it is. You know what's going to happen.
Yep. If you like mecha shit, watch a good mecha show.
Then probably watch a better mecha show. Have you watched Shin Mazinger yet? Have you watched Gunbuster? What are you fucking doing?
That's the thing. It's not it's not like there's some dearth of good mecha shit out there. There is so much mecha shit out there that I can only assume some of it must be good.
I like to think so.
Yep. Anything else or Pop Team Epic?
Let's move on to the last.
I don't know what to say that we didn't say in the main segment.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the thing about it. I consistently, the show puts a smile on my face, and that's all I ever want.
Yeah, I laughed. I am never bored. That's what I'll say. Because I'm always looking out for the little details in there. Because there's always these little things that are added in, like the Nico Doga stuff over that parody video. Of course, I don't know. Do you know what Nico Doga is? Okay.
Is that where you dance on the pad and
Close.
Those arrows.
Yeah, Nico Nico Doga Extreme.
Yeah.
No, Nico Nico Doga is
Oh
actually.
no! It was the original game that Super Mario Brothers 2 was based on.
There you go. There we go.
Yeah, Nico
Found
Nico
it.
Panic.
Yep.
Yeah, Nico Nico Doga is actually a website dedicated. It's basically a video sharing website in Japan, and the entire conceit of it is you can watch the video, but you can also turn on the comments, and the comments go over the screen. Like, hey, you know, these are people during, and they will time it out. Like, I want my comment to go at this part of the scene where they can say, like, yes, I love this shot, or, oh, by the way, did you know about this? Basically, it's supposed to give more information or just give opinions. Although half the time it's people just doing dumb bullshit.
It's like Twitch and YouTube together. Imagine a Twitch chat that went along the video.
Okay, yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. Like, I didn't have to know that to enjoy, like, to realize, oh, it's internet comments.
Yeah,
that's
like,
all it is.
Yeah, I can definitely see where having a more specific point of reference would give you a little extra thing, but still was
Yeah.
willing to follow along
You'll see
with
that a few times in shows. Just the Nico Nico presentation is very common.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I laughed. That part actually got a laugh out of me. Not a full laugh, not like the last episode, but I was like, that's funny. Okay. Like I was happy because that whole segment is weird. But they make fun of it with the text. So I'm like, damn it.
What's this a reference to? I don't get it.
And I feel like, is this a troll? I feel like this is an actual troll. This whole segment was made to just be this dumb bullshit, and they're like, yep, it's dumb bullshit, and you're watching it. Congratulations.
I think as a general rule of thumb, if you ever find yourself asking of this show, is this a troll? The answer is always yes.
Yeah. And that's kind of the...
That's not a criticism.
Yeah, and that's sort of like, when it comes to Pop Team Epic, I'm watching something, I don't know how this got made. This is an actual thing with a real budget and talent behind it, and that's amazing to me. I'm like, how does this exist?
Yeah, that and the copious, in this episode in particular, the copious amount of Western references that appealed so much to me. God, I don't know. There was a lot. This episode did a lot for me, but it. Not much more than any other one. It's fun. I know when I'm going to put it on, I'm going to have a brain turn off fun for 11 minutes.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, here's the thing. If I start holding up knives for the show, which is very possible going forward, that is never... Like with Hakyu, Hoshin, Engi,
Oh, no.
I hold up a knife and it's like, no, this shouldn't exist. This is for no one. If I hold up a knife for Pop Team Epic, the knife eggplant is, do I want to watch this? I'm glad this show exists and is out there. That's not going to change. This show is for someone, and I'm glad they have it.
Because there's nothing about it that feels like outwardly disparaging. Like, there's nothing in it that is like, God, I wish this doesn't exist because of this reason. No, it's just dumb fun. And sometimes smart dumb fun. Mm-hmm. So yeah, like I even think that there might come a point where I'm like, yeah, you know what? I think it's run its course for me too, but I would never say like this show should never have happened. Because, gosh damn, I can't believe it did, and it's already gotten some real laughs out of me.
Yeah, it feels like so many people in the industry are just having a good time, and that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Like seeing so many renowned industry old dudes having fun. I'm just like, hell yeah, dude.
Also, I don't know if I'll ever get over Papako. Is that the small one's name?
Yep.
I don't know if I'll ever get over Papako just being angry.
I love the ending bit.
So is that supposed to be like a horror, like some kind of horror? Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to taste like urban legend. Like, I'm outside. You got a phone call in the middle of the night. I'm outside your house.
Grabs their fucking bat. Where are you? Stop ducking me. I fucking and the best part about it is that there's no provocation. She just wants to go beat up whoever's outside of her house. I love it.
Yeah, it's a one-note thing that doesn't need any more than that. You know what it is.
There's just so much to utilize.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I noticed, like, and that's kind of what I think the intro captivates very well, is that it's just those eyes and that mouth. Put it on anything. There we go. Now we have a skit ready.
Man. Oh yeah, and there's also the opening segment of Baba Mimi Mimi. or whatever.
I love those dudes so
Those
much.
those segments are so dumb, and yet they still make
They're
me
so
chuckle.
good because they're dumb. that's
Yeah.
the kind of shit I love. That is my kind of comedy, and those guys are. I call them the Gallo Sengen dudes. They've done a bunch of other shit, but you probably know them from the Gallo Sengen music video.
Also, that moment where she's like, "The darkness has overtaken me. I'll save you with friend." Boom! It just starts rolling her away. I don't know.
That was so good. I don't know why. That made me laugh too. I was like, "That's funny."
That wasn't as funny when I saw it, but talking about it with other people, I'm like, that's some really good timing. Also, the safe point. It's an old joke, but
Yeah.
just the way that they deliver it. So, like, she just goes up to her, "There's a boss up ahead." I'm like, gosh, dang it.
I like the Toki memo joke. Maybe 10 people in the U.S. will recognize that one.
Yeah, I didn't get that one.
Okay, it's the first dating sim, and they had a reference to the first conversation you had with one of the main girls. That's it.
Okay.
It's just like there you go. So yeah, I like it. I like the show. It just has to keep being itself, and I need that in between some of the other shit because I front end some stuff I like. I put in Pop Team Epic, and I watch a lot of stuff I don't like.
Yeah. Oh man, I'd have to put that at the end of all the stuff I don't like. I would need that to be. I'd need that to be my palate cleanser.
Well, I can't say I'm getting as much out of it, but what I do get out of it is being able to sit here and watch you guys geek out.
Because you're not in pain over this. Even
Yeah.
like
That's the thing. Yeah, it's not offensive. I don't
Yeah.
think it's just like
Yeah.
you might not get it, and that's the worst will happen. Is I don't get the joke.
Yeah, and like you say, everybody involved in making it seems to be having such a good time. You guys are having a good time. I like seeing people have a good time.
So this isn't like Kill la Kill where he and I over here like, oh man, that scene, and you're like, guys, no, end this, please. It's not like that.
I don't know. I haven't seen Kill la Kill.
Oh no, I'm sorry. King's Game. I don't know why I said Kill la Kill. Anyway.
Yeah, no,
Nope, wrong.
Yeah, we had that. We had exactly one golden shining moment when all of us were on the same page about King's Game.
Yeah.
I was right there with you. I had my fun, and then I was out.
Yeah, no. PTE continues to be fun, and the more I'm looking into it, because I've actually been looking at some of the manga, like the original panels for stuff, and seeing how they adapt some of it. It's actually pretty fun. Seeing how they have to time things out and stuff like that, or stretch certain panels into longer things.
Yeah. No,
cool.
that's so tough to do because like I've done a lot of comic dubs. Mm-hmm. Those are really tough to do effectively because it's all about your minds filling in the timing and the framing and the connecting tissue for that.
Yeah.
So when you try to adapt basically these four coma, it's tough. So kudos to them.
I know.
Doing
Props
it
to them for
effectively.
just making this as coherent as it is so far, as much as that has. I don't know. It doesn't need to do anything fancy for me. It just got to keep being its dumbass self.
Well, we'll keep being our dumbass selves next
Always.
time on snipping it off, snipping it forward, snipping it around,
Up, down,
left, right.
A, B,
Maybe
select.
start.
Yes.
30 lives! Bye, guys.
See ya.